Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of GameCult Radio. I am your host for the evening, as always, John. We still, unfortunately, have with us Rhino.
Who will not be incredibly fucking silent this time.
Yes, as we actually have a topic we all know about, and of course, joining us will be Drift.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Drift the Outsider.
GameCult tonight.
Yeah, GameCult tonight. Yeah. Alright, well, tonight's topic is one we all thoroughly know about and we've all been thoroughly versed in for years now, which is, drumroll please, anime! Alright, well, we'll start like we did last week. We'll start out with how we got into it. What was our first anime that we really watched, that really made us a fan, and the context surrounding it. Mine and Rhino's are actually quite similar. So, Drift, we'll start with you.
Oh boy. Okay.
Tell us it's gonna be fun.
Well, I can't remember the first one I watched, but I can remember. Well, actually, I can remember the first one I watched. The first one I used to watch was way back when, and I stopped watching it now. It was Bleach. That's right, Bleach. Back on Adult Swim, and it was before they started dragging on, before they left the Soul Realm or whatever it was. Well, I can't remember. It was before they left the Soul Realm.
Wait, it started dragging after the Soul Realm? Jeez, I thought it started dragging as soon as they got into it.
No,
Ooh, shot fired.
It did drag on. Like the episode, there were some episodes that advanced the plot, and then there were filler, and we're all familiar with filler.
That it seems to be the usual structure of a lot of these shows: is filler episode, plot episode, filler episode, plot episode, filler episode, plot episode, and then normally a two-parter that'll wrap up that little segment of the story, then more filler, and then they repeat the process.
And occasionally an OVA gets thrown in.
Oh yeah, that's a Japanese thing. We don't American TV shows or cartoons don't get OVAs.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they get TV specials.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
The fuck does OVA even stand for, by the way?
Original video animation.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. Oh, thank you. That answers that question.
I like how fast you sprung into that.
Like, damn, he's just right on that shit.
Yeah.
Also, like, I can't have somebody being... I can't have some scrub lord being uninformed here. I can't.
No, when it comes to anime, I am a scrub. Rhino, you're actually probably the most active of all three of us when it comes to watching anime. Currently.
Overall, yeah, but recently I haven't found anything I really wanted to stick with.
Yeah, but that'll happen. But Rhino, I know me and you kind of started into anime around the same time, and that was back when Toonami first hit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just in general started that way.
Yeah, I think Toonami was one of those programming blocks that helped define the 90s, I feel, and the early 2000s. When I think of the 90s, I think of Toonami. I think of staying up late, watching the Absolution come in, hearing Steve Blum as Tom the Robot, kick on and introduce us to, all the shit that's going to happen tonight. And I started out with a lot of the shows there. Actually, I started out more into the Tom 2 era, which was, I think, more Trigun, Dragon Ball Z, and Cowboy Bebop, as well as Case Closed, but that was actually on Adult Swim, I believe.
Was Trigun on Toonami first?
I think so, yeah.
I know Big O was on Toonami first, but
Big O. God damn, that's a good show.
Yeah, it was.
I gotta go back and watch it again so I can understand what the fuck's going on in the show, but that show had a very convoluted plot.
So yeah, like I was kind of similar, except looking back, I mostly remember just like trying to get to my grandmother's house, who had Cartoon Network at the time, just hoping I could catch an episode of DBZ because when I was a kid, oh my god, Dragon Ball Z, I gotta watch it.
I'm still like that. Dragon Ball Z is fucking amazing. I don't care what anyone says.
The game is surprisingly good.
I've never been a big Dragon Ball Z fan, to be honest. I
Well, like
can
I said, I
see
don't care what you think.
It's
I can
others.
see why a lot of people like it, but I don't know. I just never got into it. I know my older brother and my cousins used to be, balls deep in that shit, and they used to watch it like every time it came on. And I would sit around, maybe watch an episode or two, but I just couldn't really get into it.
I watched every episode of Dragon Ball Z, back from the original Dragon Ball into Dragon Ball Z. I even watched into GT.
Are you totally sure you watched every episode?
Yes, because I went back and watched Dragon Ball Z. I didn't catch Dragon Ball Z when it first came over here.
How long did it take you to rewatch DBZ?
I'd rather not say. It spanned a good chunk of a month.
Damn.
Because I didn't marathon that shit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How can you do it without marathoning it?
That's why I said it took the better part of a month.
I looked how many episodes there were, and I did the math, and it seemed like it would take a better part of the month if you were to marathon it.
I don't know how I did it. I guess I marathoned it. A lot of that is kind of blank. I think I blanked out a lot there. It was a point in my life where I did nothing but play video games and watch TV. Most of the time, both at the same time. I think I was back in the era when I had my laptop as well. I would have Dragon Ball on, and I would be. I think I was actually at the time I was playing World of Warcraft as well. So that probably. It probably didn't seem near as long because I was playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
Don't play World of Warcraft, kids. It will take your soul.
Every MMO has the capability to take your soul.
That's a conversation for another time, though.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about MMOs at another time. But
I got a good feeling about what we're going to be talking about next week, but you'll find out if I'm right.
we'll get to that at the end of the show. Some of my favorite shows in my memory are actually anime. I mentioned them at first. Dragon Ball Z, while I'm a fan, it's not one of my favorite shows of all time. It kind of the format of the show I really like. The action parts of the show I really liked. The story was, well, it was Dragon Ball, for God's sakes. Can't really say that much about it. But I still remember 3 of my favorite shows are all time. Still on my top 10. I think one of them is still in my top 5. And that is Case Closed, or Detective Conan, as it's known elsewhere. Trigun.
On Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
At the time of recording.
At time of recording.
Yeah.
And above all of them, Cowboy Bebop.
I have a confession to make. I'm not as familiar with that show as I would like to be.
I don't know how familiar I can say I am with the show. I just fucking love the show.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good.
It is amazing. The animation is phenomenal. The characters are awesome. Voice acting, top fucking notch. That show and Toonami made me fall in fucking just. I've got a huge man crush on Steve Blum. Like I fucking love that
Goku
guy.
says not to.
I've actually met the voice of Goku and the voice of Krillin.
Yeah?
They're nice guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't watched, I've seen anime, but I haven't watched a lot of it. Like, what I have seen and what is my favorite one is, oh, wow. It's probably got to be Elfen Lied, to be honest.
God, I don't know how you can watch that show.
Why?
I cannot stand that show, man.
Why?
How far did you get, John?
I got 2 episodes in, and I didn't want to watch anymore.
Was it the
What
obsessive?
turned you off to it?
Well, I don't really know. I just was off-put by the show. I can't say anything specifically that turned me off, because I'm fine with gore.
Right?
I'm fine with nudity. I'm fine with just about everything that was in the show, but for some reason, just the way, I don't know if it was the way the show was put together, the characters, the animation, I don't know what it was, but just something about the show just stuck in my head.
Your gut was warning you about episode 9.
Is that the one
Maybe
with
it
Episode-
works. Yeah.
Is that the one with the
Episode
dog?
9 stopped me, and I had something to prove by watching it because it was just so.
Wait. We should probably say that there's obviously going to be spoilers.
Yeah, there's probably gonna be a few spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers is
Spoiler alert: Goku
Continue.
dies.
spoiler. Back 10 episodes later.
So, what are you saying, Randall?
So the spoiler alert is out there, right?
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
Episode 9. I think your gut was warning you about episode 9, John. Like, remember when I was watching it like all in one sitting because I'm an idiot?
Oh yeah, wasn't I talking to you at that point?
Yeah. When I got to episode 9, you might have heard me say something like, "Okay, Elfenlied, you stopped me."
I remember that. That was the one with that was the thing with the dog, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh man,
That
I remember the
would've-
first time I
That
saw
would
that.
have spun you into some sort of dimension of unhappy that I'm not sure of if you watch that. Jeez.
In case you're wondering, I'm a huge animal lover. I look like an animal myself. I look like a fucking gorilla. I've got a big soft spot for animals, and anything that shows like animals being abused or hurt, fucking drives me into a dimension of pissed off that cannot be rivaled.
Yeah, there actually is a dog involved in episode 9, and it is honestly one of the, I don't want to say one of the craziest, but it was out of left field, and I did not see that coming at all.
I've
And
never wanted to see children painting the wall with their blood like so badly in my life.
and they did. They really did.
I used to be real big into Halo 3's matchmaking. But yeah.
So we know something about abusing children. Oh, okay, let's move on.
Well, so does Elfenlied, actually.
It's relevant. It's relevant to the discussion, people.
Yeah, it is. It is the whole like
What was her name? I forgot.
Lucy.
Not Lucy. Not Lucy. The abused children is the term we that brought us on the subject.
Oh,
You remember the little girl and her backstory?
the one in the wheelchair.
Um,
I don't remember, man. It's
I
been
don't-
like a long time since
she
I've seen it.
she wasn't the same sort of thing that Lucy was.
Was she the one that got her hand cut off?
No. She had a pet dog that made it through the show.
Shit, I don't
Backstory.
remember.
Right? Because people called in and went, "What the fuck, guys?"
Like from the moment I saw that dog, or in her backstory, the dog was basically her only friend after some really fucky stuff happened.
Oh yeah, and in a show like Elfenlied, you know that dog's gonna die, but it didn't.
Yeah, that was her name. That was Lucy. Oh wait, no, the dog that made it through.
Yeah, the dog that made it through, and like it wasn't during this dog didn't exist in a flashback, or didn't exist solely in a flashback. It was in flashbacks.
Yeah.
Black-haired little girl, like about the same age as that other thing that was like Lucy. What were they called?
Yeah, what the fuck was Lucy?
Diclonius, I believe.
Yeah,
Go.
she wasn't a Diclonius, but like she was in the same house that all the main characters lived in.
Okay, I'm gonna ask, what the fuck's a Diclonius?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Diclonius is well, the short and sweet of it is that I don't, they have they have horns protruding out of their heads. They kind of look like ears, and what they basically do is like they're psychic pretty much, and they're really fucking dangerous, obviously.
Are they?
And-
Are not? No, wait. When you say psychic, do you mean they're telepathic or telekinetic?
They're telekinetic.
They have
Okay.
weird invisible hands.
Yeah, they have like invisible arms that come out, just and can just wreck shit if they just feel like it, and there's not really anything you can do against it other than shoot them and hope you catch them off guard.
Oh, yeah, that's what happened with Lucy, wasn't it? Like that's why she turns into you.
Yeah, Lucy had she had like a split personality going on,
Because she got a
and
bullet in the back of her head.
right, and
Well then.
every time she would remember what it would happen to her, she would. Well, first of all, we have the cute, you know, adorable Lucy, which they called her New, because that's all she would say when she was like that.
That was
And
pretty cute.
yeah, she was fucking adorable.
That was pretty cute.
And
I remember if you did that a lot, you would just say new and it would piss me off.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah, you had it
All day, every day. We would
Yeah,
call him up and get him in a group call. It'd be like, Drift, what's up? And he'd go, new.
And it was
Yeah.
his, for a
I
little
totally
bit that me
forgot
and
about
him
that.
played Halo 4, like, he had it set as his service tag.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever she would start remembering the shit that happened to her, or if someone got hurt around her, or if she just altogether got mad, or any kind of trauma like that, could just push her over the edge and bring her other personality out, and she would just become Lucy, which was really a cold character. She was pretty much heartless to anyone else that wasn't her friend. And if she wanted to, she could just rip you apart.
Huh.
Yeah. Because that's how powerful those freaking hand things are.
Right, well, moving off of Elfenlied.
We didn't really scratch the surface, but yeah, I don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But remember, the girl that I was talking about was the girl with the dog, and something really fucked up happens regarding her.
Yeah.
Same age as the other Declonius, pretty much.
Let's move on to something more modern for now.
I'm sure Drift over here would like to talk about Kill la Kill or something.
Oh yeah, Kill la Kill. Let's talk about that one.
Oh, okay, so
Now, to preface this, before we start, I have not watched a damn episode of this show.
You really should. It's good.
yeah, I recommend it.
You got Netflix.
I know I've got Netflix. I know it's on there. Netflix keeps recommending me this. The problem is, I will watch a show like Sekirei and love it. But I will see Kill la Kill and go, fucking really? I know that's hypocritical. I know it's stupid. I know they're two completely different shows. But I really hate the just almost there kind of fan service, you know? The cock tease fan service. I hate that shit. Like, if you're gonna have that scantily dressed of women, go the full 9 yards and just show us some tits, for fuck's sake. Which is why I like Sekirei, which also kind of makes fun of shows like that. It's kind of a comedy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Sekirei later.
You were defending Sekirei with, this just sort of just becomes a thing and you don't really pay attention to it anymore. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, it just kind of does become a thing.
The exact same thing happens in Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
Alright, and that's fair. I don't hate the show. I've never seen it, so... But I have seen a lot of the material from it. 1, because I'm on Tumblr. 2, because, I exist on the internet, so I'm aware of this fucking show. Because it was fucking huge.
Well, Kill la Kill is a show that I started watching a while back, and if you know me, you'll know that it actually takes a lot for me to watch an anime. I do like anime, but getting me to actually sit down and watch a lot of it is just damn near impossible unless I take a look at it and say, this looks interesting. My friend, one of my other friends, he recommended the show to me, and he would just basically say, dude, you gotta watch this show. I know you don't watch a lot of anime. I know I recommend a lot to you, but you gotta watch it. And ultimately, I just decided to sit down and watch an episode. And that episode turned into another episode, and so on and so forth. I got hooked into the show. And what it's about is basically, and this is going to sound confusing, but all anime pretty much is.
Unless you've actually seen it or know a little bit about it, then it's just gonna be all like, yeah, that makes sense in the context of the show.
Yeah, I
Right.
think that's a caveat we can put in front of just about every goddamn anime. This is gonna sound weird at first, but just roll with it.
Of course, yeah, it's fucking anime. Okay, so I'm trying to think of how I should start this. Okay, all right.
Alien
So-
clothing.
Pretty much. There you go. There's the
Life
monkey.
fibers,
Yeah, life fibers.
scissor swords, blood, high school
almost
girls.
nudity.
All I'm saying is it's not much weirder than just freaking random scantily clad girls coming from space and being found in a spaceship with no explanation.
All
Well-
right, fair enough.
Okay, so
You should really watch it.
I
it's
know
a-
I should.
one of the main characters is a sailor outfit called
Senketsu.
Senketsu. How did I forget that? Senketsu.
Uh,
And
just so you're aware, people, the clothing is alive.
yeah, the clothing is basically a parasite, which it finds a host, it latches onto said host, which was Ryuko, and they form
It's so cool.
a mutual friendship, pretty much.
Has
She has to find out who killed her
dad.
dad. God damn.
Dun 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 dun.
She hears the voice of somebody in her.
Stop right there. Just stop. That's why I didn't want to say it. That's the theme song. Yeah, but her journey leads her to the school. How could I forget about all this shit? Well, I don't want to give away too much of the plot, but what John was saying earlier about scantily clad, how the outfits are all scantily clad. There's an actual second outfit that's also scantily clad. Second girl who wears an outfit that shows a lot of skin, and her name is Satsuki, and she wears Junketsu. Now,
Suzuki is so good.
yes,
and also
I-
one
I-
of Drift's waifus.
We don't talk about
Yeah.
waifus on this podcast.
Leave your waifus at the
Waifus are for
door.
private Skype call conversation and Xbox Live parties only.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
I
guys.
kinda
we
wanted
all
stuff
have
with
we all have our waifus. All right.
But anyway, so I actually
And or husbandos.
just realized why. I actually realized a while back why they're scantily clad, and it's not just for fan service, but it's because
Yeah, it has a logical explanation.
yeah, if their whole body, okay, first of all, the suits actually feed on their blood and in turn make the wearer more powerful. So it's beneficial to both parties. And when the suits transform, they can't cover up more clothes. They can't cover up more skin. It depends on the wearer. They can't cover up more skin because if they cover up more skin, they'll be drinking more blood, and the wearer will either grow more tired or just die. So they have to choose the right amount of skin. It's just
This
a
conversation
mutual relationship. What?
This conversation feel weird to anybody else?
Yo.
But yeah.
Now,
It's anime.
I wanna
It's weird.
stop you right there.
Okay.
This is not a logical explanation of fan service. This is they found a way within the show's universe
Right.
to have fan service.
They
Right.
at least
They-
made it
they
make
hit- they-
sense.
I think what they did is they came up with the outfit and they're like, alright, this is cool, kind of ridiculous, we kind of need an explanation for why, and they came up with the explanation after the suit was already made. Now, that's not to say that's a bad thing. I've done it myself when writing some characters. You come up with what they look like and what they've got, and, some aspects about them, and then you explain why. You don't come up with the explanation first and go, what would that look like?
Right.
Generally speaking, you just come up with the concept, and then you form the universe around that. So I understand that. I'm just saying that's what that is. It wasn't like, oh, they planned this right from the beginning, and this is logically how the suit would look.
Hell no. Of course, that's what they did. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with you there. But altogether, the show is enjoyable. It's there's a lot of really good action sequences in it, and
A lot of really good music, good characters, like great stuff all around.
I love the music.
hell yeah.
I love the characters. I really do. Now, I will say this. The character... I will watch it at some point in the future. I guarantee that.
you got to be there.
But
Okay.
I will say this about the show.
On record.
I actually like the character designs. I really do. The character designs are cool. I find them a little over-the-top ridiculous, but then again, this is the same people who made Gurren Lagann, so
Yeah.
I kind of give the show a pass when it comes to just the outrageous nature of the costumes.
Well,
Outrageous, Nate.
I recommend it. I really do.
Besides Yoko, who are you thinking of from Gurren Lagann?
I wasn't talking about Gurren Lagann, but the characters, the humans in
triggered
the show
Joe.
weren't exactly the most illogically designed ones. Some of the robots were as well, but I wasn't talking about Gurren Lagann. We'll get to go. Actually, no. Why don't we just start talking about Gurren Lagann then? It's a good segue.
I'm not gonna have much to say about Gurren Lagann.
All right, I watched it at least 3 times.
Go for it.
Spoiler alert: Kamina dies in episode 6.
8.
8. Okay.
Yeah,
Best character in the show dies 8 episodes in.
and that's the biggest flaw.
That is not just the biggest flaw in the show. That for me is like a fucking mortal wound in the show. I love the show. Don't get me wrong. I love Gurren Lagann, but then again, I also love Big O. But Big O's got problems as well.
Everything has problems.
Everything has problems, it's true. But I have a particularly big problem with Gurren Lagann because I fucking loved Kamina. That was an awesome fucking
The
character.
internet loved him for a reason.
He's still a big thing on the internet for a reason. And he dies in episode goddamn 8. For a really bullshit kind of reason. Well, okay, not a bullshit reason. He dies in battle, but still. It really seems like he could have pulled through.
Well, what happened?
Like after he did the famous Kamina punch, because as far as I can tell, he descends from Captain Falcon. As far as I can tell.
Yeah. Have we ever seen Captain Falcon's hair color? Or eye color, for that matter?
I don't know how canon the anime is, but
I've never.
before I make myself sound like an idiot, no, I'm not saying no, I'm not legitimately saying F-Zero and Gurren Lagann are canon. Fuck no.
That would be awesome.
That'd make me Dale Gribble of anime. Jeez.
I'm telling you, F-Zero and Gurren Lagann take place in the same universe. And Captain Falcon is the father of Kamina due to time-traveling space monkeys.
But anyway,
That actually sounds like something Trigger Studios would do, honestly. Moving on!
Kamina died after he literally knocked some sense into the actual main character, Simone.
I have a problem with Simone, but...
All right, we'll get to that in a minute. But what happened next was he went back to his giant robot, and when he was just taking a minute to rest, I guess it's been a while, but he got
They won the fight. That was the thing.
They won the fight, and Kamina fought on after he got stabbed in the back by a freaking gorilla's giant mech. That's what happened.
Yeah. So he legitimately suffered a life-threatening wound. But they won the battle, and then, he said a few words and then died. I was livid when I first saw this.
You're livid at most things, John.
This is true. No. There are 3 times in my life I can legitimately say I was furious at something. 2 of which were the endings of shows I had watched, which was... Well, I was furious at the ending of Deep Space Nine, and I was furious at the ending of Twin Peaks.
Right.
And I was furious at the death of Kamina. Just because he was just too badass and well-made of a character to die like that. And not to mention, it was only 8 episodes in. Now, if they had wanted Kamina to die in the show, I can understand that. But you know what would have been a really awesome time for him to die? Fighting the final boss of the first season, the Spiral King. If he had died fighting him, I would have been happy.
What's
sure
the
about
Spiral
that?
King?
I'm fairly sure about that. Because I am perfectly alright with an epic character death. An epic character deserves an equally epic death. And
Yeah, that's true.
if you want to see a really epic character suffering a really horrible death, Captain Swift in Fable 3.
We shouldn't talk about Fable 3 right now.
No, we shouldn't. Because if we
Fable
do,
3
I will
me drip
scream.
fucking off.
Yeah, Fable 3 is just going to be an hour-long rant by me.
Yeah, like it's a podcast where 2 out of 3 of us can take the day off.
We'll talk about Fable later when we get into our game series episodes.
We will.
Well,
But
hey, the Fable series in general. Anyway, back to Gurren Lagann. And then he was, after Kamina died in episode 8, to a fucking lieutenant, he gets replaced as the main character by Simone, his sidekick. And Simone is the best way I can put it. Simone is a whiny little bitch.
no, he's not. Go ahead, give me a reason.
I don't like Simone as a character. Especially not to fill the shoes that Kamina left behind.
Answer my question, please.
Why I don't like him? Or
Why
I
is
feel
he
he's...
a quote-unquote little bitch?
How many times in the show does he just kind of give up and then has to motivate himself back into it?
Yeah, because his freaking best friend just got stabbed by a monkey.
But I'm not saying that... No. Multiple times throughout the show, he gives up and then comes back around. Gives up, then comes back around.
Examples?
Shit, it's been so long since I've watched the damn show.
Mm-hmm.
I remember not liking Simone as a character, though. I remember finding him kind of annoying.
Does that include, like, the second season?
No. He actually gets pretty decent in the second season. I'm just talking about first season Simone.
That's because the first season was about Simone manning up.
I still think it would have been better served if Kamina had stayed there till the end. End of season 1.
The show is pretty damn good as is, and I do in fact believe that Kamina would have made a better lead character, but I feel like you're being too hard on Simone.
Probably. You're probably right, but you know what? I just don't like the character.
Not liking the character overall, but I can sort of get why you didn't like Simone before he manned up, but not liking the character overall doesn't make sense to me.
Not overall, then, I guess. First season Simone, I don't like. Second season Simone, I like a lot better. One note about the ending.
Yeah.
The very ending. That's a fucking downer note. Like, that show ends down.
With, like...
Simone's love interest...
Spoiler!
Yeah, it's just, spoilers. Simone's love interest, I forget her name. Huh? Nia. She fucking dies. Like, he does everything. He kills a god by smashing him in the face with a galaxy. Probability-altering missiles.
There are 2 more things I want to talk about regarding Gurren Lagann before we can move on.
His love interest dies after he fucking does everything right. Like, he fights this huge fucking battle, gets all the way to the end. This is the point where, you know, they've won. They have lost so many friends. Nearly, like, so few people are left, but they finally fucking did it. They beat the big bad guy. Happily ever after, right? Wrong! Mia dies. He goes back, becomes an old hermit.
What?
End
Well-
of fucking show.
Well,
They
how
weren't.
much die? Well,
They weren't
sometimes
fighting to save
everything
the-
isn't your
fighting to
best.
save humanity, and like
Now, I'm not a guy who thinks every fucking ending needs to be happy. I'm just saying, that show should have had a happy ending, in my opinion.
you know what show had a happier ending, I guess.
Yeah, that show, I felt, really should have had a happy ending. Like, it felt so out of place for that show to end on such a kind of mute note. It for me, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth at the end of the show. They didn't ruin the show for me. Not like like Deep Space Nine's ending almost ruined the show for me. But like it felt so odd to have that kind of ending at the end of Gurren Lagann.
Well, sometimes when you do everything, it's not enough.
Yeah, but that's reality, not fantasy.
Oh, but maybe they tried to add a little bit of that into.
Okay, yeah, they tried to add a little bit of reality into the show where the willpower of the main character made a fucking robot grow to the size of a universe, and it was throwing galaxies around like they were goddamn shurikens.
Yep.
Yeah, they needed a little bit of reality in that show. What the fuck?
Oh, shit happens.
Well, can't argue with that.
I don't fucking know. I haven't seen it. I've only seen the first episode, and even then, I don't remember that.
All right.
It's a hell of a series to watch.
So I've heard.
Despite the problems that people might have with it, it is in my personal opinion a very good show.
It is quite possibly one of the best animes I've ever watched. Despite all my bitching and nagging about it, I still highly recommend that show. If you're an avid anime fan, you are not yet complete without watching Gurren Lagann.
At least giving it a shot, because like
At least watch the first season.
give it the old 3-episode test. That's what I have people do when I want to get them to watch something.
That's true. Even I have to adhere to that rule.
Do you know?
I wish that would work.
If I watch a show, I watch the first 3 episodes. If I watch it. In case you people are wondering why I am so aggressive about this stuff, there's a whole backlog of shows Rhino has been trying to get me to watch.
I can count 2.
Oh boy.
But we're not entirely done with Gurren Lagann, because there are a couple of things I was wanting to talk about.
Go ahead.
I know it's different, like the movies or something, but I'm not exactly sure what. I'm not exactly as familiar with the canon as one of our other friends, but like in like the semi-final episode, literally every supporting character dies.
Yeah.
Horseshit.
Well, that sucks.
I'm
In the movies?
actually pretty alright with that.
In the movies, that didn't happen.
Wait, didn't?
Didn't.
See, I've never watched the movies, so.
I haven't. I just know about them because.
Yeah. Our mutual friend.
Yeah, and that was just so. Even when I was watching it the first time, I was all like, "What? Everybody's just gonna die? Everybody's just gonna die right here?"
See, though, I was kind of alright with that. Because, I felt like, alright, righteous sacrifice. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't that miffed at at all this. Okay, all of them dying was kind of fucked up.
Jorgen and Balambo, though.
Yeah.
We could bring up the probability altering missiles, but there's not much to say there. You would have to see it to know.
Yeah. Just
But the other thing,
keep in your mind the idea probability altering missiles.
That sounds fucking ridiculous.
it was.
Essentially what it was was the enemy had the enemy robot or entity or thing had a shield up and said that your missiles have a 0% chance to get through this shield. And so they fired probability altering missiles. Missiles that bent the fabric of reality and punched through a different universe in which they got through the shield
So,
to hit the character.
So basically,
I'm gonna shield against your attacks. Nuh-uh, my attack goes through that.
like 9-year-olds at recess.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking dead on right there.
But there's only so much we can say about that.
Yeah.
The other thing that
we pretty much just summarized the whole last 2 episodes.
I don't have much to say about it either now that I think about it, but the scene where Kamina came back as somehow and just freaking
What?
I'm not exactly sure.
He came back as an alternate reality ghost or some sort of
A force ghost?
kinda.
I guess, but
Not actually that far off, really.
well, it wasn't bad, and it was just cool to see Kamina again for one last time, which is, let's face it, why they did that.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool. That was all right.
And then you see all the characters that just died, or if you're watching the movies, just 2 of the characters that just died, or one of the characters that just died in addition to Kamina.
Yeah, didn't Keaton die?
Yep.
Yeah.
Keaton's death stayed the same in both things.
It was still epic no matter how you look at it. Yoko still apparently has the kiss of death, which is hilarious
don't
to
know
me.
what that is.
Okay, in the
Every
show,
man-
the one of the main characters is a girl, Yoko.
Right.
Never heard of her.
Yeah. Anyway, the 2 people she kisses in the show are Kamina the night before he dies, and Keaton right before he dies.
That's bad.
She's got some shitty luck.
She should probably be killed.
Well, to be honest, she kissed Keaton because she knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of like a last goodbye.
Right.
Which is understandable. But, Kamina, her and Kamina had kind of something of a relationship for the first, 8 episodes. Or 7 episodes. Something of an implied relationship.
Are you totally sure about that?
Yeah.
Something of an implied relationship. Or at least feelings.
They had an implication for, 1 episode. And then Kamina died.
No.
The other time,
There was...
Kamina and Yoko were just bickering to each other.
Isn't that love at young ages, though?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I guess.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
So, moving on. Speaking of the backlog of anime I've been hounded to watch, let's talk about one of the ones I find pretty interesting, Girls in Panzer.
Oh yes, this one's great because I feel like I got close enough to winning here. And they're right, John.
Yeah.
I am gonna have nothing to say about this.
Chime in, whatever.
All right.
So yeah, and the fact that I got you to admit that it was a good show, I won.
That is true. It is a good show. I cannot deny this. However, Rido, please set up for us the premise of this show, because it is one of the most amazing things I have ever heard.
Okay. So we got these girls, right? And they're also in Panzer. And that basically means that they drive tanks as one of their school clubs, man.
Because they're high school girls. Because in anime they always are.
They're adorable too, but which is half the appeal to me. Don't judge. Goku says not to. But
So, yeah, they're high school girls, and one of their after-school activities is the Tankery Club.
Also known as fighting in freaking tanks, and it's awesome. This is the entire reason I got a Crunchyroll account, really, because I wanted to watch this show, and it was the day that I got into the World of Tanks 360 beta, and I couldn't play the game without watching the show for some reason. Like, there's no requirement, I just couldn't. All I could think of was the show, because I knew it existed, and I needed to watch it. And I have no regrets. No regrets at all. Also, their towns are sort of on ships in the middle of the ocean, but...
Wait. Let's talk about this, because this is one of the craziest things in the show. More than high school girls driving tanks and firing at each other in towns, the country that they're on is a massive aircraft carrier. This is a normal thing that isn't really brought up a lot as far as I know. Again, I've only watched the first 3 episodes.
Wait, there was an OVA explaining this.
Of course there was.
Like, the OVA was dedicated to explaining this. Too bad I only watched that once and I don't remember much of it. But it exists.
Yeah, but yeah, they're just on a massive aircraft carrier. Just fucking on it.
It's either less stupid than it sounds or more awesome than it sounds.
Yeah,
It's a little bit of both.
But once you realize, hey, you watch this for girls driving tanks,
And it is part of the reason why I don't watch it. I'm actually not... Listen, I don't watch anime for adorable schoolgirls. Just not something I'm into. When I watch an anime, I generally watch it because I like action. I like the animation.
Right.
All right.
I point out one of my favorite animes, Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple. That show is fucking awesome! That is the kind of show I would just fucking watch. Like, wouldn't watch it to watch the show, but just as a show would just want to watch that on a daily basis. Like, if I got home from school or work and turned the TV on, I would want that to be on at the end of a long day. It's a fucking amazing show. It is on my top 10 greatest shows.
But the cute schoolgirls are like only half of the reason to watch the show.
Which is I like the tanks. I like the animation behind the tanks. I like the way the show is laid out. It's got some good action. It's got good characters.
If anything's going to get you to watch it, it's going to be the tanks themselves.
Yep. And keep that in mind, folks. Even if you're not the guy who's into the cute Japanese schoolgirls in sailor outfits, the tanks are awesome.
Listen, I watched this show for a mix of tanks and adorableness, and I was not disappointed. If you like both, watch it. There's no excuse.
If you like one or the other, give it a shot.
John's already given it a shot.
The
characters.
The characters are cool.
The characters are great.
They have personality, which I like. They're well-written characters.
Like most of them have personality. Like most different teams. Like if an individual character doesn't have a personality, there's usually like a personality as a group. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the volleyball team that drives the M3 Lee.
Was that the volleyball?
Yeah, it was the volleyball team because they painted it they not green, but they painted it pink, right?
No, it was the first year students driving the M3 Lee.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the volleyball team that.
If you play World of Tanks, avoid the Lee.
Yeah, if you play World of Tanks, avoid the M3
shit.
Lee.
But
anyway.
But yeah, the volleyball team, the first year team. Who else did they have in the first match? Aside
the History Club?
Specific one, huh?
The History Club. Weren't they the ones driving the Stug?
Oh, I forgot them.
They're they're my favorite characters.
No, they're not.
But to me, they are.
My favorite character is the Gunner and Anglerfish team, but Anyway, the History Club. I love these guys. I fucking love them. Like, I don't even like the History Club team because they're because cute reasons. I like them because they're just awesome. And Erwin is named, and they're all named after historical figures.
And Erwin is named after Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, German tank commander in Africa.
Erwin, Caesar, and a couple others I'm not familiar with. But like, I don't know. But Erwin's got this cool thing that her hair is supposed to be like a fennec fox, which is a desert fox, and she's supposed to be modeled after Erwin Rommel, or modeling herself after Erwin Rommel. And I just got a little dizzy. I went somewhere, guys.
Take a deep breath, Rhino. Take a deep breath.
Anyway, if you caught any of that, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Drift, tell us about an anime you have watched at some point and you enjoyed.
Okay, anime that I watched that I this is something that I started out reading as a manga first. And it was a while before the show actually came on, and I read through a couple of mangas about it.
I think I know what this is.
Volumes, I mean. I read through a couple of volumes about it, and it is a really, really good story to it. It's funny, it's, the main character's fucking adorable, and she's a goddamn loser.
Oh, I know what show this is.
She is antisocial as fuck. She embarrasses herself a lot of times, and her name is Tomoko Kuriki.
And no matter how she looks at it, it's your fault that she's not popular.
Yeah.
The show is Watamote.
Or that other thing I said, because that's the actual full title. It's just Watamote because it's 3 syllables.
Yeah, that's easier to say. And
yeah, it's Watamote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I started watching this anime a while back. Like I said, I read the manga first. I didn't read a lot of it, but after I read a couple volumes, I jumped ship to the anime, and I really enjoyed it. I loved I loved her voice actor because she fit the bill perfectly. The animation was great, and the little subtle references they would use, which was peppered throughout some episodes, was actually really funny. And it followed the manga quite well. What it was about was, it's basically a little girl, high school girl.
Of course.
She just wants to be more popular, and she wants to have more friends. And
the only problem is
she embarrassed herself. She embarrasses herself a lot while trying to do that.
She's an otaku.
Yeah.
What?
The anime really could just be called Day in the Life of an Otaku Girl.
But like, it's more than that. She's got like a fuck ton of social anxiety too.
Yeah. And while you're watching it, you're just sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, I really want her to succeed in this. I want her to, go out and have friends and get a boyfriend and all that stuff. Because that's what she wants. She wants to be happy like that. But she just ends up embarrassing herself in so many ways.
Every episode's like its own little train wreck.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cringy. There were just some moments in that anime where I just had to just look away because I felt secondhand embarrassment from what was going on.
Now I hate that. Which is the reason I have not watched the entirety of the show. I hate that secondhand embarrassment feeling.
Oh,
cannot fucking stand it.
But that's like in that you can find that anywhere.
You can. You're right. And I still don't like it. Actually, wait, Drift. Isn't your avatar in Skype right now from that show?
Hey, has anyone seen my new Skype avatar?
Yeah.
Snack.
Caught me off guard. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a snake with googly eyes.
It's a snake.
That's actually an edit. I don't actually.
Because
my avatar.
at some point in the show, didn't she go up to her brother and say, "Show me your dick"?
Uh, damn it, I don't. It's
Did that actually happen?
I don't remember. I didn't go through the whole show because I stopped at
It might have been in the manga. I don't personally remember
yeah.
seeing that.
I think it was in the manga. I don't think it went past the
Did the show wrap up the entirety of the manga, or is the manga still going? And
Oh, hell no. The manga is still ongoing from what
I
I've
see.
yeah, so I don't actually think there's gonna be another season
Hmm.
because they did the OVA and there's not really any more news on season 2. Uh
That's
but
sad.
well, from what I've seen, it's enjoyable, and if you wanna just watch you wanna watch an anime where you can sometimes relate to what's going on, this is definitely a good one because wow, it's just
But
it's
that
the girl's adorable, she's funny, and secondhand embarrassment all
the,
around.
the thing is that secondhand embarrassment is nuclear, man. Like
Yeah,
if you
bad.
don't like that sort of stuff,
you're gonna
just
feel it.
you if you don't like that sort of stuff, you might be good with looking away to this one. But if you can't put up with it, you will find something that'll amuse you for a little while and possibly give you an existential crisis because you realize how much you relate to this chick.
Yeah,
Not
it's
not
still
not
on.
saying anyone in this call has ever had such an experience. Uh,
All right, Rhino. You mentioned the big one.
the big one, huh?
Let's talk about the big one.
It's not Madoka. It's not Madoka. It's
I think we're gonna have to have a second anime episode at some point.
yeah, because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I want to talk about Girls and Panzer a lot more because there's crucial stuff that I want to talk
You
about.
could dedicate an entire episode to that show, couldn't you?
I yeah, I bet he could.
I feel like I've barely scratched the surface in this one because we've
We
been
should
going for a
save
long
some
time. We've been going for a long time, and we'll get back to animes, including like Girls and Panzer. And actually, I wouldn't mind talking about Madoka. It was pretty good for what it was. But
From what I hear, that was a crazy ass show. But let's move on to
Big one,
the big one.
the big one.
the big red one. Let's do it.
So this is actually John. Why don't you say some words about this?
I don't wanna.
So I bugged John over here to watch Girls and Panzer a lot, but
Nothing
not as much
compared
as
to this one.
mostly, and I think that's mostly because I actually got him to watch Girls and Panzer, and I still want him to watch this one eventually because it's worth watching. It's worth watching.
The thing about this, and the reason I really don't want to watch it, is because this is a feels show. This is a show that's gonna reach into your chest, grab a hold of your heartstrings, and it's gonna fucking choke you with them.
However,
Oh yeah.
it's more than that. But we've danced around the title enough. Let's talk about Angel Beats.
Oh.
Oh, Angel Beats? I thought you were talking about school days. I'm sorry, man.
I'm not going to fucking watch that anime or talk about it.
Okay. Go on, go on.
All right. So, basically, Angel Beats.
Yeah.
A lot of the thing that makes it good is like how a lot. It's true that a lot of what makes it good is like how much the show gets you to feel for the characters, but it's so much more than that. Feels is not the only thing this show has going for it. It's got freaking awesome music. It's got a most of the characters are pretty good. One's kind of annoying in that overtly cutesy kind of way, but I've learned to look over that for certain reasons. But other than that, like all the characters just seem to be freaking great, except the the main female character. One of the main female characters goes by the name of Yuri, not a word. And the thing is, she seems to be copied from. A lot of people accuse her of being very, very similar in appearance and attitude to a character from another show, which I've tried to watch, but I just can't get into, called The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya or whatever.
Suzumiya, I believe.
Yeah, it. A lot of people say that Yuri is very similar to Haruhi, and honestly, I can kind of see it.
Now, Rhino, explain to us the premise of this show.
Everyone's fucking dead, right?
It's purgatory.
It was described as a. I think the Netflix, when it was on Netflix, I think its setting was described as a way station of the afterlife, and that makes kind of sense after I watch it. But
Yeah,
basically,
this is one of those animes where you kind of have to watch some of it to understand it.
how would you know that, John?
So I have watched a few episodes.
Bullshit.
I watched the first episode. All right.
Yeah, I watched it with him. No, I'm just fucking around. I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
The everyone's dead. However, their spirits cannot move on to the afterlife or their next life because of emotional trauma that happened to them in their actual mortal life.
And this is where the heart punch comes in.
The heart punch comes in at episode number 2. Or that's when it starts. Because you see, first episode, if I can remember it correctly, it was mostly just, oh yeah, we're gonna have our band play concert and really piss off Angel and whatever and whatnot. And that's what they did. And there were a lot of funny moments between the characters and stuff. But when you learn Yuri's backstory, you start to understand what you're dealing with. This show is really freaking dark. Because Yuri, when she was a mortal kid, guys broke into her house. She was told to find them. She was told to find where her parents kept her jewelry and stuff. And she didn't know where the jewelry was, but the guy said, for every 5 minutes you don't bring us something, we're going to take one of your kids away with a gun to the head. Right?
Oh.
And she didn't know where the jewels were. So she just found the most expensive vase in the house because she figured that would work, but she never figured that out because she accidentally knocked it over, thus shattering it to X amount of pieces. And that's the kind of stuff you're going to deal with in this show. Honestly, the saddest backstory comes right at 3 episodes, which is actually the beginning of the 3-episode test that I mentioned earlier. Because I'm convinced that if you watch 3 episodes, you'll want to watch more.
Which is a big reason why I haven't watched past the first episode.
And so basically the entire plot of the episode of the show for like the first half is like, the Battlefront of a billion freaking names, because they rename it. It's pretty funny, and they rename it constantly. It's pretty funny, and the Battlefront wants to strike back at God, which they figure, hey, Angel's probably going to be the way to do that.
Why don't you explain who some of these concepts and characters are? Like Angel. Who is Angel?
Angel is for the first half of the show, she seems to be the antagonist. But that doesn't end up always being the case. She's just a I forgot what term she used, but she's not very expressive. She's usually very quiet and stuff. she's kind of she seems like a robot at first. If you did watch the first episode, like you can know you remember if you did watch the first episode, you would remember how Angel is. And I guess this contributed to like how they thought of her and they saw her as an enemy. But I think that's mostly because she was there first and she was for some reason enforcing the rules. There are gaps in Angel Beats even for me because it's been years since I watched it and I don't really want to watch it again.
Your heart just can't take it, can it?
Yeah, because you know who was the guy in Mortal Kombat who reached into the chest and pulled the heart out?
Everyone?
Well, no, Kano was the first one to do it.
Yeah, like Kano rips your heart out, but emotionally.
Oh.
So Angel Beats is the anime equivalent to Kano. Minus the Australian accent and laser eye.
Oh my god.
Almost. There are probably a couple words out there, but I'm not gonna fucking touch them. But
Clannad. Should give that a try.
no.
Unfortunately, we are way over time here, so let's start wrapping up. And
So, expect me to talk more about some of these shows the next time we decide to touch upon anime.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe John might have a little bit more input next time.
maybe I won't. Who knows? It's hard to tell with me.
Same here.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. This has been Game Cult Radio. I've been John.
I've been Rhino the Legend.
I've been Drift the Outsider.
And we will see you next time.